Metaphysics is going to have to be the quote-unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are back one more time. The Cult of Dangerous Gentlemen, the greatest think tank ever assembled. No debate. That's what it is. And we're going to dive right into the simulation this week. I think everybody already knows what's going on. I mean, this is probably, it's got to be at least one of the biggest topics. I know there's something going on with Joe Biden, too. There's always something going on with Joe Biden. But this one right here seems to be the hottest topic on the grill this week because we have another, the timing, I will say, everything kind of works out to feed the conspiracy idea. But this guy, Russell Brand, who was like, funny enough, he seemed to be like America's sweetheart. He was Hollywood's sweetheart when he had this, semi-predatory, just to be, political here, I'll say semi-predatory character that he was playing in public, and it was kind of just accepted by everybody. I didn't hear too many people calling Russell Brand a creep or like complaining about him being all handsy and weird with women, and I never heard anybody complain about it. So it was just, I guess some people can get away with it. But then once he switches from, drunken, drug-fueled sex monster into a conspiracy theorist guru of sorts, it seems like he's run afoul of some people who have some power and influence and information, because now we got, 15-year-old allegations. Once you have these types of allegations, it's pretty much a wrap, because not very many, can you think of anybody who survived, like not survived like life, but just in general, their career and everything like that, with open assault allegations? Has anybody ever come back from that?
I think Bill Clinton did fine. Bill Clinton had
He's
several
still
women
doing good.
accuse him. Yeah, Bill Clinton is doing great. He was flying to an island full of kids, no problems.
Allegedly, I was
No,
talking.
he's on the vote log. He's on the flight log. He
He's
was
on the
definitely
log.
on.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah,
it
he was
full
up
of
in the
kids.
air.
We don't know the island was full of kids. We knew he flew to an island, but we don't
Oh,
really know.
you're right.
Right. I mean, as far as I know, it was just National Geographic down there taking pictures of filthy.
As far as we know, he had no sexual relations.
It was just a Nat Geo underage topless girl photo shoot, as
Right.
Nat Geo was wont to do.
Right.
Exactly. Okay.
Right.
Fair.
That's what they do. So if you read in Nat Geo, and what was going on over there is weird. It's like it's kind of the same thing. As long as we figured this out, being the greatest think tank ever assembled, we figured this out. The only thing that makes it not be illegal possession of images of a child is because they're dirty. Right? If it's a clean kid that don't have no clothes on, you're a weirdo. But if they're dirty and they use mud to braid their hair and they got necklaces on, you could show them ass naked all day, because it's not sexual. It's
Third world
like,
children.
Right, it's almost like animals. It's like showing a page of raccoons washing up in a river or something. It's cute. Just look at it.
That's what it is. It's
National
Nat Geo was
Geographic.
People Zoo.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
It's basically People Zoo.
People. So these aren't real people. So there's no possible way you could be attracted to this 15-year-old girl's naked boobs. There's no way. I know you're not.
So excuse me. Yes, honey. Nala? Yeah, what are you, 30? Can you come over here? Yeah, no, keep the beads to keep the coconuts off. Yeah. We're going to pose. Stand in front of the tree. We're going to take a picture. Wait till the fly gets in your face. I'm going to snap a photo of you.
Perfect.
Nat Geo got away with this for decades, and it was in every doctor's office and school in America.
Yeah.
What a just hidden in plain sight phenomenon. No one ever raised their hand. I'm saying, I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to look at 13-year-old breasts as an adult. I think this is problematic. No. And even now, no one's even tried to go after it. This is still a publication in circulation. No?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Those are.
We got one not too long ago.
Look,
because they give them to you free sometime. They'll just show up like with the phone book. You'll just get one.
They just right before the FBI raids your house.
Right.
They
Just
send
make
one,
sure
you get one by
everybody's
mistake.
complicit.
Yeah.
Everybody's complicit. We send them out for free, so you got it too. If we did something wrong, so did you. You brought it in the house. So fuck it.
Listen, you know, if this was, if you didn't lie to me and tell me there was absolutely no bioweapon labs in Ukraine, if you told me if you didn't lie to me and tell me that there was no way that COVID came out of a lab in Wu-Tang or wherever it was from, if you told me, oh no, if you didn't lie to me and told me a water main broke in Georgia, as you stopped counting and decided to count, it was almost like you were trying to figure out how many votes you needed as you just kept getting more mail-in ballots. It's like, oh, we stopped counting. Why? Because we know how many ballots we need to fill out now. So we're off to fill out those ballots. So if you didn't lie to me about all of these things, these suspicious things, don't believe your lying eyes. You told me Harvey Weinstein was a perfectly nice guy. He's a pillar of the community. He's friends with Oprah. He's super swell. You love Miramax, right? What, you don't like Dusk Till Dawn? He helped do that. You like that movie. He's a great guy. After all of these lies about everybody, about really, really important things, right? And this is kind of not really an important thing. In the sense, I'm sure if there was a woman that was sexually assaulted by Russell Brand, I'm sure it's important to her, right? I'm not trivializing that. What I mean is, Russell Brand being a sexual deviant isn't going to start World War III, isn't going to release the pale horse on the planet in the form of a bioweapon, right? This event isn't going to lead to anything super disastrous for humanity or the planet.
Right.
But it's still the same disseminator of information, right? I don't know. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I just know that where it's coming from, I don't believe anything that you guys say. And I feel like, right, there was that lady on ABC. She came out. She was pissed. She got caught on a hot mic. Hey, I had the Epstein story 3 years ago. They wouldn't let me run it. Who wouldn't let you run it? The person in charge. Person in charge of what? Of the entire media company. Oh, media's running interference for people that they want to protect, right? Seth MacFarlane put a couple of Harvey Weinstein jokes out there. Everybody laughed. He's a little handsy, that Weinstein. Some people aim for the chest. Some people aim for the backside. Some people put it in a plant. He was a plant guy, right? But nobody went after him because the same thing. Like, no, Harvey Weinstein's a great guy. So what I've learned in watching the media is, if you're someone that they need to protect, they ain't gonna tell you how Maxine Waters got her house. They ain't gonna tell you how Nancy Pelosi got her house. They're not gonna tell you how Mitch McConnell is worth so much money. Right? Nobody's interested in answering those questions. Nobody cares, right? If they like you, if they want to protect you, this stuff is going to stay under wraps. And the moment that they don't like you, they can do something like this. So, yeah, that looks kind of bad, but he didn't caveman bust her over the head. She did voluntarily go. And here's the thing, too. Women like Russell Brand. What do you want me to pretend that they don't?
The video I just seen. What the fuck?
They do.
That looked problematic.
They do. And she says later in this same interview, while he's still trying to bang her, she's like, well, I have a husband. And I was just like, you just sat on this guy's lap. And what the fuck are we talking about? And at first, I'm watching this video because somebody posted it as like this compilation of him doing terrible things in front of everybody. And the first video, I was like, this kind of doesn't help your case. Like, she was enamored by him for those couple of minutes.
Right.
Like, do you know there is no reason? I don't give a fuck what the situation is, right? Somebody you love, your wife, is receiving an award, or she's at some place we're getting appreciation of her, and some other person who's on the stage or in this type of situation, when she walks out, he just starts grabbing her and spinning her around, and she sits on his lap and giggles.
And if you as a husband doesn't get up,
no, you can't at that point. You can't at that point.
You can't. That she sat on his lap. He didn't pull her down.
Right.
She popped in.
He pulls her down. You have to get up in the middle of the television show.
Oh yeah, and you beat him unmerciful
in front of the live audience. You don't beat him unmercifully. You give him one solid one for him to figure out that he crossed the line, because he probably didn't mean it. He didn't, look, I'm a movie star, right? Women seem to like me. I'm a millionaire, and we've organized society in such a way that I kind of can do this. And they're running up. Like, dude, when that Trump thing happened, where grab them. Yeah. But they let you. He never said no. They scream and they cry and they say no, don't do it. But I do it anyway. I grab them. I grab them right by it. No, he said no. They love you so much they'll let you. I polled about 20 to 25 girls after that. Like, how did you feel about that? Every single one started naming people that they'd let. Oh yeah, like they started naming people in their favorite band. Like, oh yeah, no, if he did it, I wouldn't mind at all. Like, there's a list of dudes.
Fantasy graping.
Right, that if they did it, they would be perfectly okay with it. And here's another thing too: people don't continue to do things that don't work.
That's true.
If Russell Brand was an incel, he's like, man, I've been witty and charming, and I've been smiley and googly eyeing back and forth with these women, and I get no rhythm. I get nothing back. I'm dry. I'm dry as the Sahara. There's nothing I can do. I'm swinging, and I'm striking out. I suck. No. He went in this in great details. Like, dude, I got a problem, right? And you can't be a drug addict without a drug supplier, right?
Back.
There was drugs on the street. There were women who were willing to help Russell Brand become an addict. So clearly, a lot of people found him charming. Now, I don't know the details of this particular story that you're which is really just a testament to my disdain for the media. But it's probably really irresponsible for me to have this opinion and defend him when I don't even know the details of the story. But I'm going to go out on a limb and assume if you were willing to lie to me about big things like biolabs in Ukraine and the value of the dollar, I don't think you're going to tell me the truth about Russell Brand. And I'm pretty sure, since the Epstein client list didn't come out, right, I'm pretty sure you're not going to tell me that there was a huge blackmail operation, right? And you see this partnership with Hollywood, the media, and the government, and I think that that's the common filament, right? Because don't we hear that all the time? We hear that in both of those worlds, right? There's always information about celebrities. Celebrities are in the media. Politicians are in the media. Scandal is in the media, right? That's where those two worlds kind of have some overlap. And in both of those worlds, we know for sure. And maybe, look, maybe there's a dude that works on the register at McDonald's, and he knows that his manager is cheating on his wife, so he never has to do fry duty. Maybe there's other industries rampant with blackmail, sexual blackmail. Maybe, but the only ones where I really hear a lot of stories, it seems to be either the government is involved or it's some Hollywood stuff.
Burger King ones would be spicy. They should put those. They should push those more often.
Right? Why is there no particular business franchise? It's like, I hear Hobby Lobby is rife with a lot of
sexual blackmail.
Everywhere, all across the board, every store, every location. It's just a company culture. But there's definitely Hollywood culture, government officials, people like that. Like when the dude, who was the guy? I can't believe I forgot his name. Who was the mayor that got caught smoking crack?
Marion Barry. And there was
the one in Canada?
Up north, Rob Ford.
Rob Ford, yeah. So it was a white one and a black one, which is beautiful. But I remember Marion Barry. That was way back in the day. But they they basically set him up. They put the camera in, and this is the mayor. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, right? He's just human. He's just a regular guy. But if you can be elected
for a job
mayor,
like that, man, you need crack.
If you can be elected mayor, but also be doing crack in a hotel room with like a tank top and some boxes,
he's human
and
incorrect.
Dress shoes and
That's
shit.
how you human.
How do you keep both of those things going at the same time? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, a mayor smokes crack, but I was still young.
He should have had some dignity and just did a bump.
That's what I'm saying.
You got dress shoes on. You need to snort
humaning.
something off the end of a knife or something.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
you're governing a city, and then you're taking crack, man. Come on,
smoking crack. That's the best you can do is crack. You can't
What's his
have like
stats in
a.
the community? How well did he serve
Oh,
his
I'm
time?
He
guessing
was
not very
beloved.
well.
Was he? That's what I'm
Marion
saying.
Barry was beloved in DC.
So
I'm pretty sure he won. Listen, I'll go. So I don't know the numbers. I was pretty young when all of that went down, but I know after the scandal, I'm almost positive he ran and got elected again.
He did.
Yeah.
did.
So I mean,
not only got that,
they already knew. It's like, look, yeah, he smokes
who
crack,
else
but
gonna be
also
up at
wears
2
dress
o'clock in the
shoes,
morning?
and I like the cut of his jib. I like him. I like how this man does business. You know, maybe we legalize crack. You know, why are we criminalizing good performance? Like the people were happy with the job that he was doing, but it's one of those things too. Like they got all of this, especially now after we got the Patriot Act, right? Came under Bush, got reaffirmed under Obama, right? The
Gotta
government,
love the Patriot Act.
everything, and who gets it, right? The private companies that been helping facilitate the blackmail operation from the beginning, right? Like there's even an industry, there's crisis managers. Like that basically they're companies that when you have a huge scandal, you hire this company to help you manage it.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Brown's.
Um
360.
yeah, and if you watch some of these news stations, like on the commercials, they even advertise. Like got caught with a dead woman of the night. Like your hands
Oh
covered in
man,
blood,
I
but you
wish I
got to
see
run
those
for
commercials.
reelection.
Yeah, that's like a
Oh, dude, you can't
GTA
afford it.
commercial.
This ain't something that you could just call, get on a payment plan. It's like, yeah, this is a millions, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars operation because that's how much their name and their identity and their prestige and protecting and hiding their crimes to continue to be a good earner. It's of paramount importance. So it's worth it. It's like, look, I can get a couple more movie deals. Look, I could get reelected. I could, then I can get those great Nancy Pelosi stock tips. It's so worth it.
That's it right there.
Bro,
That's
so
that's yeah. Go ahead.
this shit says the arrest and subsequent trial precluded Barry from seeking re-election after he served 6 months in a federal prison. After his release, he was elected to the Council of the District of Columbia in 1992. He was elected again as mayor in 1994 and served from 1995 to 1999.
How does that not make him a legend?
And this is not the mayor of like one of the 50
No,
states. This is the mayor
DC.
of DC.
This is the mayor of DC, a black guy, right? Like, does this prove that racism is finished? Like, how do you allow?
Oh, we know it's finished.
Then again, or maybe he was the perfect guy because this is what they want from a. Is that like the secret Illuminati trick? It's like, no, this is what we want from a black mayor. Let him smoke crack, and then we'll get him reelected because that's the no. How? Who did that? Who put him back in office after he got caught smoking crack? Got kicked
What
out.
part of the chessboard is that?
Well,
and went to federal prison.
Look up the demographics of DC.
So
Let's look up the
well,
demographics of DC and the median salary.
Of 95 and 99.
Nah, we may not be able to get that. Just in general, because I don't think too much has changed. I mean, the numbers have swung probably a little bit, but it's still there's something very special about DC that I feel like nobody really.
DC is very special, especially with the violence. It's horrible.
Right.
I watch like a lot of like prison stuff, and a lot of, if you pay attention to a lot of the things that they say, they only say federal prison because DC doesn't have like a set place for as far as federal prisons, but they say any DC person pretty much runs like the area of those prisons because like they're so violent.
Well, what I could tell you is, I believe, do people call DC Chocolate City?
yes.
Is it referred to as Chocolate
Yes.
City?
60% black, it looks like.
60%. Now, 13% nationally.
But 60%
Really?
in DC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
60% in DC. And I wonder what the median income is of the black population in DC. I think it would be, because what I want to point out is DC is exactly what the government wants. It's a handful of really super rich and powerful people living with 24-hour around the clock security, right? They're in DC. And they have nothing to do with the mass of the population, which is basically like, look, I don't know what to do with the projects. Look, I don't care if you smoke crack. Just keep an eye on it. take care of it. We don't want to be bothered by it. Just keep them off of this side of DC. It's the perfect dynamic of like their vision for the country. Like, hey, we'll arrest people for no reason, give them 22 years. We'll be complete power hungry madmen. And we'll talk all of this great game about equality and racial justice and da da da. But we're living as far away from the black population as possible. We got a super high, dense amount of black people to the point that it's Chocolate City, and it's not a nice area. It's a terrible area. And it's a demographic situation which would have a black mayor. A black mayor could get elected in a predominantly white district, of course. But in the 90s, I think that was a little bit more of a feat. But you got to respect the fact that the man smoked crack and came back. It's like when Jordan's father got killed. Yeah, he took some time off. He came back and won 3 more in a row. This is the political equivalent of Jordan.
Yeah, it's a fact.
It's a three-peat.
Yeah.
That's a fact. It's unbelievable to read that. And a 2007 report found that about 1/3 of the District of Columbia residents are functionally illiterate. 1/3 of people in D.C. are functionally illiterate. Wow, what a place, bro. Is this what they call a shithole country?
I think
Washington,
so.
D.C. is shithole country? It seems like it. Goodness gracious.
I mean,
bro.
even Pablo Escobar had a nice house. I mean, there was a huge swaths of the place that looked like Sound of Freedom, right? But Pablo's house was fire, right? I don't know I mean, if DC doesn't look like the layout of a third world country, like an armed a small minority of like armed dangerous goons, coexisting with a huge swath of poor people.
That's
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of places. That's a lot of places. I know DC was bad in certain spots, but good God, bro. It seems like they would want to do better in that particular area. Like,
Listen,
let's just go crazy. Like, what is it? Just Law and Order. Just complete jackboot Law and Order in DC to make it like pristine and, the best of the best. It seems like that would be a smart way to invest your resources.
listen,
Like,
a
fuck
city's
it, the mayor
bad
smokes crack. Who cares?
when this the city's bad when the city has to change its NBA name.
Right, because if you wouldn't have made you feel some kind of way if you weren't putting up numbers. You know what I mean? If it was the Washington Scythes, now we're not all gardeners. That doesn't apply to all of us. The Washington Bullets, no, we get, and then
That name was the Bullets.
the Washington Bullets, and they changed the name. And here's what makes it so great and not racist: they changed it to the Wizards. They went from the Bullets to the Grand Wizards, and both of those things represent DC just great. Because guess what? They don't care. They're not going to be Law and Order. They'll be Law and Order if they have a political grudge to go against you. Oh, word? Like, you're going to snitch on the team? Cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and get you for corruption. But all of y'all are doing the same thing. Yeah, but we're playing ball. So yeah, that $300,000 in cash, they're going to find that on you and they're going to get you to prison. But you've got the same thing. Yeah, but we don't care because I'm playing ball. You're not playing ball. So yeah, they'll give 22 years to Enrique Tarrio or 17 years to Joe Biggs for walking around and doing nothing violent, right? But if there's a bunch of black people killing each other, here's an undeniable reality. That has never made the government or the Democrats in particular bat an eye or give a single fuck. Never. They're not running. Now, the DC sniper, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It was a manhunt. Listen, white folks are dropping from 1,000 yards. We don't know where it's coming. Just anybody can get it. And it looked completely random, right? And everybody, and it's like, yo, John Lee Malvo dropped 1/100th of the black people being murdered in DC. Where, like you said, you'd think there would be Law and Order there. Nah, doesn't affect me. Like it's basically their testament. You could go do it along lines of race. You could just do it along lines of economics. There's a clear distinction that those people over there, they don't matter. Don't matter. So if they're getting murdered, not a problem. The DC sniper, yo, get the manhunt going. Put it on the news every day till we find this guy. We gotta find this guy. He's the DC sniper. You ain't find the DC ski mask pistol whipper. You could care less. That cost
Yeah.
everybody in January. You didn't send out nobody looking for him. Like, oh, Marion's on duty. He's watching him. Probably bought crack from him. It's fine. It's contained in that area. It doesn't affect us. We don't care. We don't need to improve that. So they know, like, we are not them. They are not a part of us. Their life, their existence, their real estate, it's got nothing to do with us. And look, we look benevolent and we look like we're integrated. Where do you live? I live in DC. I live in DC where it's 60% black. I live amongst blacks. No, you don't. No, you don't. You live where the lobbyists live. You live where the defense contractors live. That's where you live. You live there. Yeah, it's all DC on paper. Look, there's one black dude in your neighborhood and he's a senator. That's it. Like, stop.
Yeah. I live around black people. You mean the senator? No, that's
Right.
amazing. But this is what's happening over there, and nobody really gives a fuck because of the demographic that's being the most affected by it, which is not necessarily. I mean, if you're going to have these problems, right, and there's a way for the problem to kind of solve itself, it's probably smart to just sit some of those out, right? I mean, okay, so what's going on? These guys, one of them wears blue, one of them wears red, and they're just kind of killing each other. Like, all right, well, let's see where this goes.
Let's give them a general team bullets.
Let's see where this goes. Like, oh, well, there was a drive-by in Beverly Hills. Like, all right, now these motherfuckers getting out of control. Now we got to start stepping in their ass. They're getting a little bit out of their fucking range. You know, they're all beyond the palings over here. But other than that, if they just stay at the Waffle House in South Central and kill people, like, yeah, you know. If you let us catch you, we got to do something. We can't just let you go. We'll look a little bit, but if you like pretty smart and you stay off the streets and you don't go on Facebook and brag about it, we could, you know, eventually we'll lose interest and just go buy some donuts.
Right. You're pretty much guaranteed if you don't go on IG, you're gonna be fine. If
Yeah,
you
'cause
stay
that's-
off the gram, no one's gonna bother to look for you.
That's
But
all the police work they're doing right now because they made it so easy. They're like, yo,
Right.
let's just look online. If it's nothing
there.
online, just leave it alone.
Right.
I wish I could have a consultant fee for something like that, man. Because
A finder's fee, yeah.
Yeah, like there's gotta be.
Right. Look,
There's
I
gotta
was
be.
on Twitter. A dude shot a homeless dude for no reason. Look, I got the street. I sent it to you. Can I get a reward or something?
Oh, shit.
Like you could catch criminals off Twitter, and but look, what I want to touch on is you pointed on something like, hey, let's see where this thing goes. If you kind of do the knowledge on the government, this seems to be a reoccurring theme. I mean, didn't they know they were coming in Pearl Harbor? Didn't
Right.
Bush get notice? Hey, they're gonna try to go after the Twin Towers. I'm pretty sure they got notice months before it happened, and they just looked the other way. With all of these shooters, that's another thing that they don't ever tell you, right? They got Gretchen Whitmer's kidnappers, which was like a 3-to-1 ratio of FBI agents to actual criminals, right? There was more FBI agents involved in the plot than actual kidnappers. But
Amazing.
these guys that go up and they shoot all the places, 9 times out of 10, that one that happened in it was like a white supremacist in like upstate New York or something. I can't remember. Walked into like a grocery store. Was it in Buffalo?
Right, yeah,
It was Buffalo, yeah.
Yeah. Buffalo starts going around spraying in Buffalo. Yeah, they already met with him. The kid down in Florida, right? The Parkland shooter. FBI paid a visit to his house. Like they spy on everybody.
Look at the January 6th people. I was watching something on MSNBC. They got videos of these people on Facebook. They watch these people. Like
Yes, they
know.
knew who they were priming and who they were setting up, and they wanted them to take the bait and be more violent. The problem is they didn't take the bait. It was minimal violence. Even when that chick got shot and murdered, Ashley
They
Babbitt.
showed that on TV. I seen that. Yo.
Yeah,
oh.
she was wilding though.
Oh
was
yeah,
wild.
she was wilding.
She was wilding, bro.
She was wilding.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And when someone gets shot, but I was watching like the video of that, and then the change of everybody's the atmosphere is
Of
like,
course,
yeah, you
yeah.
dummies.
It just
Did
shot
you
a
think
woman.
this? Y'all breaking into a government facility.
Like, bro, they just shot
eventually.
a woman. If they shot a
Yeah.
girl, you know they'll kill your ass. No questions, bro. Like, so we might want to chill out. I don't think they're playing. Like,
That's
they've been
why I
playing,
do not do marches.
They've been playing from the front door all the way to this door right here. And Ashley just found the line. where they not playing at no more because everybody else has just been backing up like y'all should leave, and they're like, nah, we ain't leaving, and everybody just let them get away with it. It's almost like they just wanted the footage. They let them go wherever they wanted. Only a couple cops actually stood up to him, but that dude was like, from this line right here and beyond, that's where I kill you. So y'all can do whatever you want over there. Throw shit, take pictures of people's folders on their desk, and do whatever you want. But if
Do
you come
whatever
over
you
here,
want. We're watching you. Do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
But if you
Don't
come
cross
over
the
here,
line.
I'm gonna kill you.
But see, the problem is the same people who are saying, "Oh yeah, Ashley Babbitt got what she deserved," were the same people who said Kyle Rittenhouse was a murderous white supremacist.
Right.
So there's no consistency in some people are doing some bad things. Your life may or may not be in danger. I can definitely say Kyle Rittenhouse was in way more danger than that officer who shot Ashley Babbitt. Because keep in mind, none of these people are armed. You know,
But a
and not that I'm
mob can fuck
condoning.
you up though. A mob
Oh,
can fuck you up really quickly.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility that if she would have came through that window and then two guys get in power because they saw it, and then three more before it was a lot of people in that hallway.
You
So
start
before
being
you know it,
stomped on.
it
You
could
know
have
all
been
them old
50 to
people getting
60
stomped
people
on.
just
yes,
putting the beats on you.
absolutely. But keep in mind, there was police and rioter interaction outside of the Capitol and outside of that little area where they were breaking windows.
Right.
Because keep in mind, I mean, they walked through. They could have ripped down those ancient paintings. They could have set things on fire. They could have smeared poo everywhere. They could have, thrown Molotovs.
No, they respect their dunking. They're like, no, we're not here for that. We're here for this.
Well, and whatever the case is, like they got into, they fought over like some barricades and stuff, but no cop got beat to death.
For a government upheaval,
There was a
that
woman that got beat to death. There was a
third
woman
world
that got shot to
countries,
death.
America
Yeah.
did a good job.
Yeah,
But
that
but
wasn't
those
bad.
That
But
was
those-
pretty good. A lot of people end up dead in government upheavals. This one was pretty good.
it was, but those people weren't there. Those people didn't demonstrate the capacity or the willingness to do severe violence because they could have.
Right.
They could have. There was a lot of.
There's a high possibility of a lot of violence happening.
But
Right.
but it just wasn't happening.
And I don't know if those people in that chamber that were breaking those doors and windows, maybe they were a particular sort that would have taken it to that level had they gotten through. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I think the people's
Hey,
problem
there's a
with the whole
line
thing-
drawn.
Yeah,
there's
they
a-
were on the outer perimeter. And there's different rules on the outer perimeter. This is what I'm assuming, just from my own. Like, so if I wake up at 3:00 in the morning and I catch somebody like creeping around in the front of my yard taking avocados
get a
off
hey.
the tree or some shit like that, like there's a certain reaction. Yeah, like you said, you get a hey, hey, what the fuck you doing over there? You know what I'm saying? But if I wake up at 3:00 in the morning and you got like one arm and one leg coming through the window, like now you're dead. Now you're dead. Front yard mangoes stealing. I just yell at you. But once you get to the inner perimeter, I got to take them off of here. And I think that's what happened. I think they had free reign up until a certain point, and she was just the first person to test the theory. She was like, "Well, we just came through like 4 different sets of windows and doors, so I'm gonna go through this window too." And they were like, "Nope, not this window." And everybody else was like, "You know what? Maybe not that window."
And to bring it back to Russell Brand, you know what? That's a completely, no, seriously, that's a completely fair point. But I think why you get so much controversy trying to get people to be reasonable about any of this is the way that the media framed everything so asymmetrically for so many years leading up to that event. Because you know what? Like, I get it. You're right. Like, okay, now you're really in there, but and you could say, well, hey, that one dude was actually the QAnon shaman was actually on the floor, right? But he's not breaking anything. He has a totally different energy about him. So yeah, riotous energy, throwing chairs, breaking the windows, screaming, clearly looking like you want the smoke. Yep, it's a different context. And you know what? I'll even concede in real time. You know what? You've changed my mind. I'm gonna go ahead and say Ashley Babbitt got what she got, and no disrespect to her or her family. It was horrible, But it's like it's like, okay, you saw this little kid smack a bear in the face 50 times all summer. You saw the little kid uh beat the bear in the middle of Target and take all the stuff and then burn the Target down. I don't know. This analogy is really bad.
It happens
But
though.
you smack, you're throwing Molotovs at the bear, you're robbing the Target that somehow he owns and runs, but he's a bear and he's angry and he can eat you. But you see the bear do nothing for months and months and months, to the point that you get, oh, I guess this bear ain't about shit. This bear ain't gonna do something. You can't get mad and say, oh, well, that's wrong. You let all these other people, and it's like, yeah, because that was their plan. Like there's no way around it. Their plan was to have rioting, to justify it under the guise of racial grievances, right? And you could argue that the evidence for voter fraud was exceptionally more pronounced than the evidence for the cops are on killing sprees and they're just targeting black people, right? There's way more evidence, and the stuff that keeps coming out. Wisconsin was under investigation. I think like 5 states changed their laws, and they did it at the executive level, but in the Constitution, you could only do it through the legislature. So technically, these new rules that they made, right, and it was all centered around mail-in ballots, which we know mail-in ballots are the absolute easiest way to forge or to cheat or to have ballot stuffing. And the election took 2 to 3 weeks, which never had. Like, I understand why those people were there and why those people were pissed. They were there and they were pissed because you guys seriously aren't going to investigate this. Like, we know, we sat there on election night and we watched you rig it. Everybody saw Trump winning, and now we're just going to move through business as usual, and that's the arrogance of the elite. It's like, yeah, you live in Chocolate City, bud. We don't see you as a part of us. Like, right, we're going to do what we're going to do, and you're going to accept it. And what are we talking about? Because if it really becomes a problem, like, we can kill you legally with no issue. We're not going to court. Like, we're gonna pop you, and it's gonna and they have the authority to do. Is it corrupt? Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting corrupt. But it gets back at the heart of it. Like, we can't keep trying to frame morality based on the tribalism of the news and the tribalism of the way these stories are framed, because it's the easiest way to get to a point where we just start defending evil behavior, because we can't just agree that it's evil. You shouldn't break windows. You shouldn't throw chairs. Should she have gotten shot? I don't know that it was necessary. I don't know that it was necessary, but I feel the same way about it as I feel about Rayshard Brooks. You could punch the officer and take the taser. Yeah, technically you don't have his gun, but you a couple of moves from the gun. And maybe that's more of a raw situation than Ashley Babbitt, like, still trying to come into that sanctuary where they were at. But at the same time, like, Rayshard Brooks was running away. How much of a threat was he going to pose after that? But I still feel no qualms about him getting popped, right? Like, dude, you hit a cop, you took a cop's taser, you tried to shoot the cop with the taser. All right, you break into the middle of the Capitol, right? You're smashing windows. You look like you got ill intent. I don't know. I think you got me with the one arm in the window analogy.
Yeah.
It's hard to, it's like, yeah, if you just outside talking shit and kicking around barricades, hey, scram, skedaddle, get out of here. But once you got the arms through the door, like, I don't think you're coming to shake my hand.
Nah, it's no more games to be played. Once I catch you halfway in the house, that's like you got to be ready for whatever happens. If you decide to steal avocados off somebody's tree, I think you expect to get yelled at, or maybe a dog to chase you or something like that. But if you climb in somebody's window, you have to expect to kill or be killed. That's got to be on the table. That's part of the equation. Because you just crawled in somebody's house. What did you think was going to happen when you got in there? Either you thought you was going to kill me, you not realizing that I might kill you. That you're not going to just, like, what are you going to tie you up and take your TV? It's not that kind of world out there. If you get tied up, he's going to be there for a while. He's just going to live in your house for a month while you're tied up. Long-term extended home invasion, basically. I don't know, bro. But I want to get into this Russell Brand article just a little bit. It gets kind of explicit, bro. It says 4 women have alleged assaults from between 2006 and 2013.
This is so
Yeah, I hate the old stuff. It just
come on.
my brain. I don't want to be a victim blamer. I don't want to
It's not
discount.
like I don't know. Like I
So we're
try not
going
to
10
be.
to 18 years, right? 10 to
Yeah,
18 years old are
yeah,
these allegations. Okay.
yeah. All right.
Go
So
ahead, Doobie. I'm sorry.
it says it comes
No,
through from a
it's
joint
just frustration.
investigation. Yeah, it did. When it's that old, it does bother me. I don't. I'm not saying that it's automatically he's innocent. Leave the guy alone. That was 20 years ago. Not like that. But I gotta cringe a little. Like, oh, he's got assault allegations. Oh, when did this happen? Oh, in fucking 2005. And I'm like, all right. Well, this is not a good
Yeah,
start. It's not a
when
good
something
start.
happens to you, man, you just got to do it no matter what. Like, and I'm speaking for like women, but it's just like when it's that
Can't
old, it's
speak
like
for women, sir.
when you can't. Yeah,
See what's about to happen
Unless
right there?
I'm a
unless
dinosaur
you're
baby.
willing to identify as and lotion some feet and open a OnlyFans,
That's true.
then you
Then you
can't.
could probably
But
speak for women.
well, I do
Yes.
identify as a woman, and I urge my fellow women people, if something like that happens to you, you should immediately tell an adult. I saw all of those videotapes in the 80s as a kid. Don't let anybody touch you in your bathing suit area. Tell an adult right away if somebody does that.
Yeah,
These
we
these are
need those
not
videos back.
right, this is a responsibility being entrusted to a 5-year-old. Hey, 5-year-old, watch this tape. We think that you have the capacity as a 5-year-old to tell an adult when you've been touched in your bathing suit area. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel scared. Tell an adult, a stranger touched my bathing suit area, right? These videotapes saw it fit to entrust this responsibility to a kid. But a grown adult woman, apparently not trustworthy as a 5-year-old kid. You can't expect much from her. How could you think women, they have bird bones, small brains? We get it. They're incapable, right? Is this what we're supposed to think? Is they don't have any aging? I mean, isn't that more insulting? Like, because well, you're victim shaming. You can't blame the victim. It's hard to come out. I get it, but we've had a culture since the Satanic Panic of being wary of dudes in windowless vans and excessive mustaches and promises of candy and puppies. We've told children you need to tell somebody. This is an adult woman. If some dude does this to you, right, you should tell somebody. And I'll even bet this. I bet all of these chicks told somebody. And I bet you the same people that told you the BP oil spill was no big deal got a hold of these broads and got them some Outback Steakhouse coupons or something. And I was like, listen, go away. Don't worry about it. It's better this way. And they agreed to it. They agreed to it. I guarantee you. And this is what I'm saying. There's an intermediary called the media for these interests, right? That they're either going to help amplify a story that's useful or they're going to make it go away. They're going to make it go away. So I guarantee you all of these girls at one point or another, this apparatus was aware of them and silenced them at some point or encouraged them to be silent.
That's a lot.
And I'm not justifying it. I just want to be clear because
That's what they did with the Scientology dude, with that 70s guy. They got those women to like agree to it for a while.
Absolutely. And Scientology. And who do they cater to? Hollywood. That's the name of the game. I think as soon as you go west of the Mississippi, it's pretty much sexual blackmail all the time. It's Hollywood land. Like, yo, who's on videotape? Who do we got the dirt on? Let's keep it in the back pocket. And then you start to wonder, like, yo, how is this dude still working? Like, how did this person get to make this movie? You ask these questions, like, how? How does this person make 125 grand a year as a congressperson? They've been a congressperson for 20 years and they're worth $30 million. How? How does that happen? Yo, it's the game. It's the sexual blackmail game. Who's playing ball and who's not? Russell Brand became a person that's no longer playing ball. He was exiled. And the very thing that they loved him and promoted him for, his sexual deviancy, is now being used against him. And so I don't know, what did these girls say? I'm sorry. I've made this show way too tangential. I'm gonna go ahead and take a back seat because I'm just angry at the government.
But this
I'm
is
gonna
why
be quiet.
this is why the years is such a factor. That's all you're proving.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the article, but first This is a song that people who hang out with Russell Brand need to learn. They should have learned this, like you said. This should have been learned in grammar school.
Jump down, turn around, don't you touch my bunghole. Jump down, turn around, don't you touch my boobs. Jump down, turn around, don't you touch my fanny. Jump down, turn around.
Somebody should have came and taught them out of it, but it's just bad because this is 16. The main one was a 16-year-old girl, and he alleged.
Wait a minute. Age of consent in Britain?
It's 16.
16.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
please continue. I just wanted to add that context.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
That's completely correct. It says one woman alleges that Brand raped her against a wall in his Los Angeles home. She was treated at a rape crisis center on the same day, according to medical records. Text messages show that in the hours after leaving his house, she told Brand that she had been scared by him and felt taken advantage of, adding, "When a girl says no, it means no." Russell Brand replied by saying, "Very sorry." Not, "I didn't do anything," or "What do you mean?" No, my bad. Sorry about that.
This is horrible.
A second woman, which is interesting too, like you said, because it says woman, but this is a long time ago. But a second woman, Brand assaulted her when he was 31 and she was 16 and still at school. He referred to her as the child during an emotionally abusive and controlling relationship that lasted about 3 months. That's a long time. Technically, I mean, it's a 16-year-old who, I mean, you know.
If you're a 31-year-old man and you didn't expect that out of a 16-year-old, I don't know what to tell you, sir.
She behaves as a child.
She says that Brand once forced his manhood down her throat, making her choke. She says he tried to push him off, and she had to punch him in the stomach to make him stop. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one.
It sounds like
And he
he's getting more
stopped. It
abused.
sounds like he stopped.
It sounds like he's getting more abused than they are.
Yeah, you punch him. Why'd you punch him in the stomach? This is horrible. This is so bad. A third woman claims that he assaulted her while she worked with him in Los Angeles, and that he threatened to take legal action if she.
This
told
is all in
anyone
LA,
else.
so
Yeah.
he definitely took the UK back to LA. He's like, we do this at fucking 32.
This how we roll,
16-year-olds. That's how we roll. And nobody had a problem with it. Nobody.
Physically and
Like,
emotionally
we see this all the
abusive.
time, Russell. It's okay.
And I don't buy into whenever it's that vague. Most physically and emotionally abusive. How?
Yeah, you gotta leave.
How, Sway? And
leave.
the other thing too, like because I don't know how to read, so I wouldn't be able to go through the rest of this article. But I'd be interested if there was any follow-up question. Did you ever meet with him again after that? Like,
well, one was with 3 months.
So hold on. So this event happened, right? It happened. And of course, you never talk to him again. Oh, well, no, that's the psychology of abuse. You go back and this is what people don't want to. And again, if you've been a sexually promiscuous piece of shit, as some of us have, you know that some of these things are features of kind of unhealthy relationships. And this may be a really, really bad thing to say. Some women are really turned on by some of that behavior. Like being a super sexually and could have liked it a whole. And this isn't, I'm not victim shaming. If what I'm trying to get across is when you talk about the vineyard, grape ape, right? Ski mask, pistol whip you. I'm threatening your life. I got you're irreversible. It's the irreversible hallway scene.
Yeah.
You think of something brutal and horrific. And that's how most of us respond in our head when you mention something like that. Like, and it's awful. Nobody wants that for anybody. But you go into certain realms of existence and certain pockets of the population, and this is something that's commonplace. If you're square and you never encountered it, okay, but there's a lot of sexually adventurous, weird stuff. Like once you get into this realm of what gets people off, it can get really dark
Quick.
and depraved. Right. And I'm not saying that that's what all of these things were here. I don't know. I wasn't there. But that's why, if I think what a responsible journalist would do is that would be the follow-up question. Okay, so this event happened, and then what? You never talked to him again. Now, the one girl gave a thing, right? Right. And again, this could have been something. Russell Brand's been with girls. Oh, no, no, don't, no, stop, stop. And then it turns into, oh my God, don't stop. That I guarantee you, if that's happened to regular dudes, that's happened to Russell
Oof.
Brand.
Here's my
Probably
favorite
several
part.
times. Yeah, go ahead.
In the bottom of the bottom of the thing it says Brand's management knew that he had a teenage girlfriend and advised him not to be seen, not be with her, just don't be seen.
Of course not. These are the people who are like, yo, whatever drugs or debauchery you need, dude, I'll help you. My job is to protect your image because that's what's getting us this money. I'm not trying to stop your fun. I'm not holding you to a moral standard. I'm pretty sure your degeneracy is a part of your appeal and why the cultural priesthood of Hollywood wants to promote you. Like, you're just what we've been looking for, so we got to keep it quiet. But I wasn't a friend to Russell Brand. I wasn't like, dude, you're boning high school girls as a 30-year-old man. I'm trying to be your friend here. You got to work that out, bro. Like, you got to really think about it. Like,
Russell's like, fire this guy.
right, get
Get rid of him, bro.
No, he says, I do this back home all the time. That's what he said to the guy.
Well, look, so this is what I'm saying with that the sexually aggressive stuff, right? Because I'm not any. So I just want to be clear. It's probably the worst thing that a man can do to a woman is to abuse your power over a woman like that. It's horrific, and I judge most people's manhood like not if you're willing to punch some dude because he stepped on your sneakers or he insulted you or bumped you in line or some other dumb shit that you don't need to take to a level of violence if you're a civilized person. But I measure your manhood it is your willingness to do violence to a man that did sexual violence to a woman. Like, she's not strong enough to protect herself. If a man really does do that kind of violence to a woman, all bets are off. You should, up to taking them off of here. Liam Neeson them. Track them down, find them, or at least somebody that looks like them. For God's sake, do something, right? So I'm not at all condoning that horrific behavior, but I'm saying if you don't treat sex as something sacred, so let's all stop demoralizing, right? Because we'll say it's corny if you do it like any kind of religious or sacred way. Like, nah, I'm gonna commit my life to you, and we're gonna build a family together, and we're gonna devote ourselves to each other. And this is a high calling because it's a responsibility in which you're bringing life into the world and you're preparing a place of comfort and security for that new life to instill in that individual's consciousness to make them a human being that can go out and be a good human being to the rest of the world. It's a sacred responsibility. That's why it fucking shouldn't be frivolous, right? But that's too far. So what we want is we want something where I don't want that standard, but then we want to kind of moralize with these rules that are really kind of nebulous. And there's not really a one size fits all, because what's grape ape to one chick is the sexiest thing she's encountered to another chick. And it's the
Right.
same behavior. And when you're a millionaire womanizer, you're not always going to know. So what I believe is maybe Russell Brand went too far. And I think he even acknowledged it. Hey, I'm sorry. The last 39,000 women I've been with loved this. They loved everything that I did.
That's fair.
You seem to be upset about it, but I don't think he heard her crying. Do you understand? I don't think he grabbed her throat, bitch, you shut the fuck up. Nah. But it's very key that they put this story out here to make him come across like this, when I guarantee you all of these encounters were in the context of some sort of either one night stands where you don't know the rules, right? And so you probably shouldn't be so aggressive, or an ongoing relationship that was probably dysfunctional. If maybe if it was, 1708, I'd be all right, 31, 16, keep it moving. But in at least 1920 and up, all right, I'll be generous. In the last 100 years, your 31-year-old friend is dating a 16-year-old girl. You got to have a talk with them. There's already dysfunction there. But but I think the most important thing about the story to keep in mind is whether Russell Brand was perfect or imperfect, or maybe just a bad person. He might be. It could all be a facade and phony. He doesn't care about anything. He uses his talk game to get panties. And he wants to continue to be on YouTube and pretend he cares about social issues, because just like Mac on Always Sunny, right? What was the episode where he was like pretending to care about abortion and going to the protest? Right?
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
gotta
yeah,
save
yeah.
the babies. Like, yeah, I'm just here for the chicks. There could be. I don't know Russell Brand. I don't know if that's the case. But what I do know is that the media that's putting out this story absolutely has an agenda. And it's at the behest, and we've known this time and time again, it's at the behest of government agencies. It absolutely is. And it's been proven at this point, because all of these places have come out and said, yeah, Rumble snitched on them. I don't know if you saw that. Rumble snitched and was like, yo, the UK government told us to take Russell Brand down. We told them, kick rocks. But
Wow.
they sent this out to everybody, just like they did to Laura Loomer, Alex Jones, right? All of these people that everybody was like, oh no, they're bad people. The media told me that they were bad people, so I gotta hate them. So now they're being silenced. Right. And it's like, yeah, this is the game. The media puts the story out there. They say something about you. You could try to defend yourself and backpedal, but they wear suits and ties, and they have giant buildings that they operate out of. And to most people who don't do any research, they seem very authoritative. And the government knows this, and the government leans on this. Hollywood is an overgrowth of the creation of propaganda. That's all that any of this is propaganda. It's a battle to
Does he
predict
even
the
do
mind of
anything?
masses.
Does he even do anything,
Who?
Russell Brand? Besides just have a good talk game as far as
He-
like
Not
like
Well,
anymore. He's pretty
woke
much like a
shit, right?
YouTube personality now.
But
He
he's
was in a
not
few
known
big
for like
movies.
going out anything, right? Or
he did a
doing
movie
anything.
with Diddy. Get him
Yeah,
to the Greek had Diddy in it.
yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
what is his mystique? Why is he so famous? Why is he important?
Okay.
Like,
So
why is this?
my understanding is he was a stand-up comedy. Incidentally enough, he had a tour where it was like the Messiah tour. And he was like celebrating all of these figures, Jesus, Gandhi, people that suffered. And it's kind of ironic. Now it's like, yeah, you were just kind of putting that out there. Like, now you see what it is. Like, it was kind of all fun and games and artistic, like, freedom or whatever, right? But you see, like, yo, if you really care about something and you're sincere and you're not willing to play their game and promote the degeneracy or whatever it is that they want, the cultural priests want to display to the masses, if you outlive your usefulness from them and you're saying something that's disturbing their money, you're flipping over their money changer tables, talking about the vaccine was a hoax, the election was stolen,
Yeah.
and keep in mind too, when did Fresh and Fit get demonetized? As soon as
Yeah.
they had Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
Russell Brand had Tucker Carlson on his podcast within weeks. He's a mouth grapist. He grape apes. He's grabbing women. He's got a ski mask. Of course, because when you disturb the way the beast gets down, they're going to bank on the fact that the people are going to buy into it and say, please crucify him, crucify him. So they put you out on Front Street to publicly crucify. And that's what they're doing to him. So he's really seen it. So I think it was ironic that he was kind of in that vein. He was fascinated about it. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to call my tour the Messiah tour. This is the cost. The cost. And I would even put that out too to like all the Christians that that think like America is something like really unique and it's not just a part of the beast. But it's like, yo, you think you're walking in the footsteps of Jesus and the apostles, but all of them got killed by the government. Every last one of them was in prison or was killed by the government. Every last one of them sold all that they had, and they were completely devoted to the cause, and the government hated them and hunted them down. It wasn't until it became the state religion that they got a respite. But I would ask you, like, if you think you're walking in the footsteps of Jesus and the government's not trying to throw you in prison or kill you, you're probably not doing it right. You're not Jesusing correctly.
Somebody in the
So
audience was like, I gotta grift this without dying.
Well, look, Russell, he may have done it unintentionally, but he stumbled into the shoes. He got in the Jesus sandals. He might have not meant to, but he rode that wave of consciousness. I'm gonna do the Messiah tour.
He
I'm,
wanted to
I'm
he wanted to be Jesus, but bang 16-year-olds.
But you know what? To be fair, I look how old these allegations are. No, hold on, hold on.
That just sounded so ill just
Right.
now. He wants to bang 16-year-olds. Well, to
Right.
be
I wasn't gonna
fair-
follow it, but to be fair, I mean, we all kind of want it, right? All right, we're all on the same page. No, I meant these are all old allegations, so I think it's perfectly within reason to think if I'm gonna be a fair judge of Russell Brand, he's a millionaire that lives in a society that caters to people of his caliber of renown, that makes available all of the things necessary to engage in the worst behavior. If you're going to eat a baby, chances are everybody around you is protecting you, right? That's not just something there's not a lot of poor people in baby eating cults. It just doesn't tend to happen, right? You have somebody that enables you. By baby eating, I just mean you want to engage in debaucherous, horrific behavior, right? Nobody gets away with that like rich and powerful people. So we have a system in place that caters to that. I think it's perfectly within reason that if most of us were in Russell Brand's shoes and most of us had the chance to fulfill all of our worst sexual impulses because we had access to them, I'm not going to pretend we're all super strong to not give in. Nah, I think a lot of us put in that position, we would have a lot of realization. Oh man, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a fucking piece of shit. Because what would you act on? So I commend him because there's nothing recent, and I think he still has the ability to go out there and be a lech,
definitely.
right? But he's made very public, like, yo, I've made a vow of like celibacy for now. Like, I'm staying away from it. Like, I understand I'm a drug addict. I need to stay away from drugs. My drug is sex, right? It makes me debase myself, debase other humans. I'm not valuing them. I love the phraseology that you use. You're masturbating into another human. Yeah, because for some people, that's all that the sexual connection is. You're just masturbating into another body, but there's no real commitment or connection. There's nothing sacred about it. Like so for him then to be in a world that catered to him and made it all available and paid him millions of dollars to portray this sexually promiscuous womanizer character. He was typecast as that. Hey, I need a sexy dude that's banging all the chicks. Call Russell. That's our guy. He can be in the movie. That's who we want. Like, that was the character that he gave to Hollywood, and Hollywood never tried to correct him while he was playing out that image. Nobody was like, hey, man, tone it down. They're like, no, that's exactly what we need. Keep doing that, please. Letch it up a little bit more. And for him to be able to say, I still have the ability to access all that, but you know what? That's not me being the best human I could be. I'm going to deviate from that. So while he was doing it and while he was celebrating and immersed in that lifestyle, nobody said anything. Now, arguably, even if all of these allegations are true, that's something that he's repented of and hasn't gone back to for over a decade. How many human beings that are standing in judgment of that man can say the same?
Right.
Like, when was the last time you did your fucked up shit? Whatever it is. Ate 6 Whoppers. You know what I'm saying? Double jerked on Pornhub. You got one.
Heavy.
You got one, and you could have walked away.
No,
you already feel guilty
twice.
Right, but you loaded up again. You just took you wiped the goo off your chest, and you went right back to work.
You're like, yo, another foul right there. Like,
I'm gonna incorporate this into round 2. You're a vile, disgusting piece of shit, yo. And according to internet numbers, it's probably about like 50-60%. Who can really sit in judgment of this man who's done more than the majority of us to try to right his wrongs? So I'm not jumping on the bandwagon with the media. The media is terrible. It's always agenda based. The facts don't matter. And just by virtue of the fact that they're going after this dude, look, the Jeffrey Epstein thing was way worse and way more entrenched in government institutions and real deal things that affect our lives. So I'm willing to look into these allegations of Russell Brand as soon as right after the trial of the 2,000 people on the Epstein client list. Russell Brand can be judge and jury 2001. Let's charge Russell Brand in the court of public opinion. Let's discuss his sentence about 2,000 people later. We got 2,000 other rich, powerful people that we need to examine and judge their lives, and probably need to go in front of a judge, because a lot of what they did, I'm pretty sure, is crimes. I don't know if Little St. James is an island that's just not under any jurisdiction. It's just it's Pleasure Island, and it's just untouchable. I don't know if it's owned by the Vatican or what, but I would say if a moral society, before we ran after Russell Brand, we would judge those 2,000 Epstein client lists first. Then we can circle back and discuss Russell Brand's fate.
I'm with that. I totally agree with that.
I agree.
Now tell me, am I a bigot? Because I read some of this and I felt like you see if it stands out to you. So this is the younger one that was 16 at the time, saying that he sent a car to pick her up from school. So she gets in the car, of course, right? She says the driver told her that he says, I'm asking you, please don't go in there. You could be my little girl, and I wouldn't want someone to do this for her. He offered to take her home without charge, but Alice insisted she was fine. He had just such a sad look in his eyes, she recalls. So he sees a 16-year-old going into Russell Brand's house. But he drives her there, and then he makes his plea after she's already there, like, please don't go. Like, well, first you drove me all the way here.
You could have did it. You could have just drove off the minute you saw it.
Yeah, you could. As soon as you saw the 16-year-old
You've
girl,
done this before,
like,
clearly, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
You've done this before.
Exactly. So why stop now? Right? I'll drive her right over there, and I'll free myself morally, because I'll look at her with a sad look, and I'll be like, please don't go. And she's like, nah, I think I'm gonna go get something forced down my throat. I'm sure she could.
I'm gonna wait about 16 years old.
But what did you think was gonna happen when you snuck out of school to go to Russell Brand's house?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It says he asked her to save his number in her phone as Carly to deceive her parents. And his management knew that he had a teenage girlfriend, advised him not to be seen with her in public. Alice alleges that Brand's one.
Don't stop seeing her. Just,
just not
keep
in
it
public.
in the dark, buddy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I want to look at a little bit of his activities too, just so we can see him doing his Russell Brand thing, just a little bit.
Bomba-clad fair use.
The rumor that you're going to be in the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Can you tell us? Can you give us a Weekend Sunrise scoop?
Was he in the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Weekend Sunrise scoop, young lady. I'm going to scoop you like you've never been scooped before. I'm going to scoop you up in my arms and carry off to a world of wonder where you forget your own name. But I won't forget it. It's Sam, the gorgeous morning sunrise Sunday sexy woman for teenage boys.
That wasn't
Such
too
a
bad.
beautiful chapter at the end written about your betrayal.
Fair use.
And it was honestly, you brought a tear to my eye, because beneath the,
Fifi, if I cannot summon moisture in you, I'm not doing my job properly.
If I can't
That's all
summon
I've ever
moisture
wanted
in
as
you.
a writer.
But this is what he does. This is just how he rolls.
So he's the guy at.
Oh, I saw this live. I love this one when he
Which
got.
one?
Mika
What Iron Man
Brzezinski.
movie was the guy was like an actor the whole time?
I think it was the second one.
So that's Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Ben Kingsley pretending to be the
like
the
the
dude
villain
with the rings.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking
Mandarin.
about. Mandarin.
The Mandarin, yes.
Okay.
Powerful woman, you've got a lovely job. What seems to be the trouble?
I don't know.
You've got a hair like Princess Diana.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I've never
When she was alive, it wasn't being offensive.
Here's a little subtext.
Yes.
I'm petrified of her, and you
Are
have
you?
her on her
And
heels.
she's just moved down the
I
other end of the table.
absolutely love this.
It's the British accent.
What seems to be the trouble, love?
No, I'm good. Well, now we're going to do a bit of therapy. Would you
the
do
Princess
therapy
Diana
with
in
Willy
there?
Brandt? With who?
Now
Willy
there's
Brandt.
no
Would you do
point.
therapy
Love.
with him? I don't, because that's where he's heading. Okay. I'm all right.
You shouldn't say he when a person is present. You should refer to the person by their name. That's basic good manners.
That is where
he's
Willy
just
is
talking
heading.
shit right here.
Who is Willie?
He ain't even doing that.
A tour called Messiah Complex. It's
Yeah, this is
Oh yeah,
not his.
besides,
That means
He's
you
clearly been doing this for a while.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
it
he's.
was
He's like a judge. I'll fuck Tony the Tiger. I'll fuck any. I like
And,
that
you
bloke
know,
on the Cheerio box. I'll fuck
he
him
does
in the
all
face.
this.
When you're
He goes to
fucking
your high
someone in the
school,
face,
16-year-olds.
checking whether they've got a moustache or a lot of lipstick on. I'll do you in the
Drives
face. I'll do
around
you in the face.
Malibu.
You're getting it in the face. Is it the nose, the eye, the mouth, the
It's
ears?
always the ears. It's always the ears. It's tighter that way, Russell. It's tighter.
And there's the lubricant of the wax.
Bro, he just said.
Yo, this guy is good. He's.
Yeah, he just told a story about forcing himself down people's throats. I don't know, but
He's been practicing He's been practicing talking to police for a very long time. Now he's perfected it. He's on TV. He's good at it. He makes the women smile, makes the men laugh. But when he's out there in the streets in front of those high schools, he uses his skills perfectly.
He's a fucking menace to society. He's
like,
like,
hey,
I'm charming on TV. But when you see me parked outside your high school, shit's getting real. You know what I'm saying? I'll be playing on TV. But I'm out here at the prom with these bitches. That's a whole nother game. Yeah, he ain't fucking around. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't doubt that he did this shit. That's the thing. I don't doubt that he did it. But like you said, I also don't doubt that he might have just been completely under the delusion that this is just how I roll.
That's what I'm saying. He's the guy. He's the man. This is his job. He's like, look, I'm on TV, and then
don't you want some?
16-year-olds.
Don't you want some? You came to my house, right? You lied to your parents. Didn't my driver give you the sad
Let's go
story?
watch the MSNBC interview I just did. Look how I put her on top of my legs.
Yeah, she just came and sat on my lap. I don't even got to tell these bitches what to do. They already know. They know how I roll. I come out on the show.
I told Trump, grab him by the pussy.
I hand them up a little bit, I rub them down, and then they sit on my lap. Look.
Listen, if Professor Griff could rhyme as good as Ice Cube, Public Enemy would have never broke up.
That's true.
Because if you recall, because he wasn't instrumental to making money. They looked at it as like, okay, he's your boy. He's the Minister of Information. He's like the new Eldridge Cleaver or some shit. But you're the rapper. And Flavor Flav is your hype man. And he's got some. I don't hear Griffith saying something here and there, and he's reading. It's like we don't need him in the group. So Ice Cube can talk all of the anti-Semitic shit he wants. He's making us money. We can make money without Griff. And the reason I brought it up is because if you remember how they did him back in the day, it was the same thing. But instead of grape ape allegations, it was anti-Semitism allegations. And again, you could have made this argument for so many people in hip hop if you just wanted to get rid of them. There's so many people. You could have got Method Man for his German Lugers. You could have, right? You could have went after him. You could have. There was a lot of people. There's a lot of people who said things. Basically, anybody who quoted anything from Farrakhan. If you wanted to, you could have gone after them. But they were making money. They were good earners. So you don't necessarily have to write a story about something that Ice Cube said. You don't have to write a story about something Chuck D said. But Griff, why we got money for what? You don't even rhyme, dude. Yeah, you might be the spirit of the group. You might be getting, because maybe Chuck and Flav weren't reading and you were the dude that was reading. Y'all would have these discussions that would inspire the creativity and the art. And maybe you were the Jerobi or the heart and soul that kind of bounded. But the industry don't care about that. The industry doesn't care.
You ain't chucking and jiving. We don't need you.
You're not dancing. You're not wearing a clock around your neck. What do you even do, bro? You talk some black righteous shit. Who cares?
Fuck out of here.
Right. So the same thing. Like we've seen this. It's just so much more pronounced now with Russell. With social media, and it's so much more predictable now. Yeah. I feel like, or maybe we're just old enough and we've seen this. But like that was the first thing I thought about when I saw this Russell Brand thing. I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm thinking back in my own mind, like that was the first person I remember being old enough to be conscious of this happening to. Like there's just this media drum of this is who we got to get rid of. This is who we got to get rid of. And the media says it over and over and over enough, and then it just kind of becomes inevitable. Like, of course, Of course, Chuck D and Flavor Flav had to go separate ways with Professor Griff. Of course. Like, you saw what was in the stories in the media. You saw, right, stories like the Jeffrey Epstein story, right? Stories that they could choose not to run. The decision by the media of whether they're going to run a story or not is completely determined by other interests. Who those interests are, I'll let you figure that out. You have to do the research on that. But clearly it's
need
other
some pattern
interests.
recognition, that's all.
You may need to look at an Excel spreadsheet with some red and green boxes, mostly red boxes. I don't know, but you're going to have to figure it out on your own. But I think what you're going to conclude is, it's like, oh yeah, there's some huge financial interest tied to these personalities. And that's the determining factor. It's not that they don't really care if you're truly moral or not. That's not the question. That's something a righteous person would be concerned about. These are not righteous people. The question comes down to, did you run afoul of these people? If you ran afoul of them, the other sins that they look the other way for the other good earners, they're not going to look the other way for you. They're going to let them throw Molotov cocktails. They're going to shoot you in the neck. They're going to shoot you in the neck and get a medal. And that's just how it's going down. And that's basically what this is. The media, and we just got to be more intelligent in the way that we interpret media, and we need to care less. We need to care less. Because you know what? Tommy Johnson at Chick-fil-A has 14 sexual assaults pending. And he did way worse things, allegedly, than what Russell Brand does, or what he was accused of. And all of those were from the last 6 months.
Wow.
Why don't you know who Tommy Johnson is?
We need some priorities to come into action here. Yeah. Is Russell Brand really the top priority, even in the category of possible assaults and rapes? There's probably people that are higher on the list with more recent crimes, like you said. But Russell's he's a spectacle. So attack the spectacle. As soon as you start talking about something,
Tucker, man.
As soon as you start talking about something we don't like, we're gonna put you on the grill, and you're an effigy, because we actually putting on the grill the shit that you're talking, not necessarily you, but we don't like what you're talking about. So we're gonna heat you up real quick, and then people will subconsciously make the connection. As soon as you talk about this shit, you get allegations. But can they fabricate it? Can they make it all up? Can it just be, some bullshit? Or do you have to have been on the other side of the game at one time so they can use the information that they have on you? Like, what are the odds that you just make it up? We found some girl, we told her to tell a lie. If you're not into that shit and people know you're not into that shit and people don't really have any bad interactions to talk about, I don't think it would be as easy to pin it on you. But if you was actually out here wilding in debauchery and you just like, I don't know if I actually did that one. I got to think back because I was pretty high. Then you might just be fucked. And you got to wear that. And if that's true, then it's also a possibility that she was using this whole personality shift to try to shelter yourself from the inevitable.
That's what Russell Simmons did. That's why he did.
Right. He started doing all the yoga and shit. And then it was wait a minute.
His grape allegation, he's like, I don't remember. I was doing drugs back then.
Yeah, and now,
whatever
now I
happened
meditate.
He dipped. He left the country. He sold all his assets. That's what happened to it.
Yeah, he gave up.
Yeah, bro. Like come on.
Or
you can't be doing all those. You can't be doing all those grapings and drug taking and not remembering who you're graping.
He gave up, or he reached enlightenment. One or the other. I'm not sure which one it is. He might have just achieved nirvana and was like, you know what? I don't need to be held responsible for any grapes.
Leaving the country.
Leave the country.
I don't need to be attached to physical possessions. It's just suffering. Attachment is suffering.
That was the past. I'm present now.
That version of myself doesn't even exist anymore.
I've projected myself off to another human being 3 times.
You can't convict my current self for things that my past self did.
Are you crazy?
That's illogical. Are you
what
crazy?
Heaven is?
Are you crazy, motherfucker? Yeah, that's wild shit.
Let's go sell my assets and move to Thailand.
But that's the laws. That's what. What's the one guy? What's the director who did the? He got the same thing. No, I think
Brian Peck.
No, it's an old
Roman
director.
Polanski.
Roman Polanski. Same deal, right? He knew the charges was coming. He was like, you know what? I'll just go.
I've always wanted to live in France. And the French were like, No, the French were like, yo, dude, that's just how we get down. You came to the right spot. We'll never try to charge you. The age of consent here is like 11. Do what you got to do, bro. It's France. So yeah, he saw the writing on the wall. But see, I don't, because I know that that's how they tried to frame it, and I could be biased. So Russell Brand just strikes me as a person who's sincere. You know what I mean? Like I would put a parallel with like Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick struck me as a person who was not sincere, because it's one thing when things are falling apart to get a moral compass, right? Like, oh, I really care about this. Now that I'm not taking the team to Super Bowls anymore, I really care about, police shootings. Russell Brand was still a pretty viable talent, for the last couple of years where he's been on this kick, where he's been about enlightenment, So I don't know. I don't know. It could be, I don't know if he's, got I remember any movies I've seen him in. Maybe he hasn't got a lot of movies offer, but I just, I think he's sincere in his pursuit of enlightenment. I think he detached himself from the drugs and the debauchery a while ago and has been on this path. Like when he had, the last thing I remember him having was this FX talk show, and he had like David Icke on there. Like that's the kind of people he was interviewing. Like he was preoccupied with the question about what's our purpose, how should we treat each other, how should civilization work, what are the pitfalls. Like it wasn't like he just stumbled into this a couple of weeks ago because he knew these allegations were coming. You know what I mean? He's been pretty reliably on this path for a while, and I think as long as he's talked from the perspective of supporting left-wing politics, he was in the good graces of Hollywood and the sexual blackmail cabal. But like I said, as soon as he crossed that line and had Tucker on, I think that, people say it was on Bill Maher where he went out at the vaccine. When that was when they were like, okay, we're done with him. But that happened a while ago. The Tucker thing was like within the last 60 days or so. So, and it would be kind of on brand for, like I said, with what happened with Fresh and Fit. So that seems to be the line that you can't cross. You can say I'm not sure about the vaccine. You could say, because I mean the left in America, dude, that was one of the biggest critics of Big Pharma. Right. Like they have all the lobby, they control Washington. Usually people on the left are the people who are like, yo, why don't you take some echinacea? Why don't you take some ginger root? Why don't you eat some eucalyptus? Don't go to the doctor. Like, yo, you can cure cancer with green tea. Drink this green tea. Like that's how they used to be. They used to be completely against Big Pharma. So him now being against Big Pharma, now that's something that's just, it's an establishment thing. Like on the left, like they're willing to defend it. You got to get vaccinated. Pharmaceutical companies are awesome. Of course, they have our best interests in mind. The government has our best interests in mind. He ran afoul because Tucker Carlson has come to be the biggest mouthpiece and the lightning rod. Like there's all these disparate factions on the right, but they all agree that Tucker Carlson is awesome. All of them. All of them are like, yo, that dude says what everybody should be saying. Some people are too scared to say, and most people aren't talented enough to say it so articulately and so concisely, but Tucker is on it. That dude was targeted to be completely removed from polite society, just like Alex Jones. So the fact that Elon was like, yo, come to this platform, do a show here. Russell is like, yo, come here. Come be on my show. I'll talk to you. I don't care that, I don't agree with your politics, but I'm willing to talk to you. I think that was the line that he crossed. And incidentally, Tesla's being investigated. SpaceX is being investigated. Like everybody loved Elon. Elon was awesome. No investigations. As soon as he started challenging the property, all of a sudden, now he's under investigation. Like it's very clear that the machinery is being weaponized, not on principle, but against on people who won't publicly say the emperor has clothes on. If you're gonna say the emperor has no clothes, if you're gonna state the obvious about the corruption and the insanity by the people in charge, then they're gonna come after you. They're gonna come after you.
Dude, we got I don't know if you ever seen Rush Hour 3?
Never.
Okay, so Rush Hour 3, they're in France, I believe, and they got to do their whole thing. So they're in France, and there's a detective that helps them solve the case. Like, I guess he's holding them accountable because he's in their country. And the guy who played the detective is Roman Polanski. Because I think they actually shot the movie in France. So while they're over there, again, let's get Roman Polanski in the movie. Which is like, okay, kind of weird, but then you find out the director of Rush Hour 3 is Brett Ratner. Brett Ratner has several cases pending. Like, I think he went to jail, got back out for some underage shit, and then more assaults. He's just got so many allegations, so many people have come out against him. Like, I don't think he could direct a movie right now if he wanted to, because it just got that bad. So a guy like that makes a movie, and he hires Roman Polanski, who he knows is also openly on a run for sex crimes. That kind of makes me feel like there's a culture there that he was paying homage to.
Absolutely. It's also a way to throw you some money.
Right.
Like, that's
yeah.
Hollywood's thing. Like, yo, we'll just write into the script. We'll set the whole thing in France. We'll get you a gig. We'll bring the movie over to you. Because there's no argument that the people were like, yo, Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, he's hilarious, and Roman Polanski. Like, that was something was like, yo, we'll look out for you. Listen, it's like any other gang, right? I'm gonna find a way to look out for you. Look, while you're in the pen, I'll take care of your family. I'll send some money. I'll put some money in your commissary. I'll make sure you got access to Wham Whams and Zuzus. Everything's gonna be great. And that's what that is. Oh, you're in exile because you're a sexual predator. And let's be fair, guys. This is Hollywood. We're all sexual predators. The difference between our friend Roman is Roman got caught. We haven't got caught yet, but we kind of empathize with Roman, and we feel sad that he gets caught. So no one held them to account. Like, no one. I mean, did anybody boycott Rush Hour 3? Like, y'all got a child molester in Rush Hour 3.
Alleged child molester. He never really
It's a classic.
Well, he never.
Rush Hour 4.
But I think when you flee for asylum in another country, you never come back to the States.
Give respect to the baby eaters. That's a baby eater respect call right there.
No, fleeing to another country to me is one step below settling out of court.
No, Asada Shakur knew she shot the police officer.
Right,
So I'm going to Cuba.
Maybe.
Roman
Because if you
Polanski-
settle out of court, that don't really mean you're admitting guilt. You're just paying to keep it out of your hair, right? I don't mean I did it. I'm just paying so I don't have to deal with it. And I
He's
think,
like, no, I'm moving to France.
yeah, I'm gonna just go to France. I don't feel like dealing with it, and I don't want to pay. So the same way I feel about a person settling out of court, one step below that is just leaving
Fleeing the country.
Fleeing the country. One step below. That's like, I don't want to deal with it, but I also don't want to pay. So
Right.
I'm just gonna leave, bro. I ain't mad at him. It is what it is. I don't know the details. I can't run down the evidence.
I'm pretty sure the girl was 13, but I'm also pretty sure too that it was consensual. Now again, you can't have consent. 13 legally, you can't consent. But again,
not in America, but in France.
In France, it's no problem. France, you could have went younger. But I just mean, again, just to be clear, this isn't Grape Ape Vineyard stuff. Like, and that's how everything gets framed. But it's still like, and what other industry besides teachers and the priesthood has this many issues?
Female teachers are running up the game right now.
Right.
Listen,
they're banging the entire football team, the entire basketball. They are. We all went to school with teachers that were banging some of the kids. We're aware of it. So there's certain industries that attract it. Like, let's just be real about Hollywood. Hollywood attracts a certain kind of people and culture. There's no way around it. It would be silly to pretend that it wasn't so. It's basically just an open secret. Like, we all kind of like the fact that Seth MacFarlane was making Harvey Weinstein jokes on Family Guy. These are things that aired on national television, right? That is some confidence that it doesn't matter what we do or we say. Like, we know that certain people are protected. Gwyneth Paltrow was like, yeah, he was a creep, but worked in all his movies. Worked with him, right? Got money, got fame, didn't say anything, but once it came out, she was like, oh yeah. So they're all quiet and complicit about it.
It's
So
their
I think
culture. It's just
right.
their culture.
So when they see one of their own, oh man, let's write a part for him. Let's write the movie in France. Let's find a way to funnel some money to them. Because I think there's empathy. Like, oh damn, you got caught. That could have happened to me. Like when weed was illegal. You know what I mean? You never celebrated another pothead getting arrested. Never. You're like, oh damn. But for the grace of God, there go I. Could happen to anybody. Right? You have empathy. You recognize that person is in. And all I'm saying is Hollywood, when they see CMs, right? They are automatic. Oh, I see myself in him. Oh, he got caught with a 13-year-old girl. He has my empathy. Damn.
No,
How did he get
I totally
caught?
get it, bro. I totally get it. This is what they do. That's their culture. This is a picture of Melanie Griffith at 14 and Don Johnson at 22. And that's when they were dating. They were in a straight up relationship. But I'm pretty sure her parents knew about it and shit like that because he's Don Johnson. He's an up and coming actor. I want my daughter to be an actor too. The best thing to do is install her on a current
Let her
actor.
bang Don Johnson.
Yeah, install her right onto his penis.
Let her bang Don Johnson. Let her bang Elvis. Let
Whoever.
her bang R. Kelly.
Whoever
They
has the
all-
best
Well,
chance.
keep in mind, R. Kelly went to jail, but let's be clear, all
He
of
got
those
caught.
girls that were sent to him, he didn't get caught. He wasn't useful to the machine.
Oh yeah.
He didn't have the infrastructure around him to make the stories go away. That's why these people have handlers.
The system had to take R. Kelly away because he's the cause of baby making. Of
Yeah,
Black
he's
America.
definitely one of the
Oh
people
yeah, and he
most
wanted to get
responsible.
the birth rates down.
Yeah,
Okay.
gotta get those
Definitely.
birth rates down.
R. Kelly is one of the people most responsible for single parent households in the black community.
Yes,
Definitely. He's one of the top
statistics
reasons.
are up there because of him.
Yeah. You play his music.
Got him
you
get outta
definitely-
here.
you're
Gotta
getting
get him outta
somebody
here.
pregnant. You're getting somebody pregnant, and you probably don't want her to keep the baby, but she might. So I blame R. Kelly. He had to get taken off of here. He had to get put away. He was too much of a danger to society. Not to mention everything he was doing at his house, holding people hostage and shit. Well, not really
Yeah.
hostage, but that's what you know.
We gotta pile it in there, make it look good.
I ain't mad at him.
Oh man. So
But I do
let's
feel
just
kind of bad for Russell what's going on. But if he actually was doing this shit, and now you try to switch sides or try whatever, you just get what you get, man. I can't be mad about it. I can't be like, oh, poor Russell. If this is what you were engaged in, if you're sending cars to pick up 16-year-old girls and take them back to your house and force something down their throat, you got to think that the chickens are going to eventually come home to roost on that. That boomerang is going to come back. There's going to be a time where you're like, oh, well, maybe that wasn't a good idea. And now just might be that time for him. He tried to do something good and inspire the people and teach them some shit. Like, well, no good deed goes unpunished, now. But what are they going to do? Just take all his money? They're not going to send him to jail. He's not going to jail.
dude, sex rules are like tax laws. It's selective enforcement, and it's confusing and can be right in one instance and wrong in another.
You just don't want to be the guy that has to be a registered sex offender.
Yeah,
No,
you don't
you-
want that.
You don't, but I mean, like with this thing with him, dude, once you have
It's a kangaroo circuit. It's kangaroo court. This is what
it's sex without clearly defined terms. Because
Yeah.
when do you know really if someone is giving you access to their body, right? That outside of an agreement, outside of like a marital contract, and I know this is corny and traditional and old thinking, but really, if you don't have that, like the rules are really nebulous. Well, if I had access to your body now, and this is always a problem. This is why that dude in France or what was it, Sweden or something, was like climbing up a
Yeah.
what was it, climbing up the
Yeah.
balcony. He's like, no, I get access to your body now, right? I mean, that's mine, right? I can have access to it. It's a hard thing. Men are possessive, and once we've had access to your body, like, what's the rules moving forward? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. I know. Oh, well, she says no, and then you're supposed to know, and you're supposed to stop, and again, sex games and all this other stuff that people do, it gets into some weird stuff. Like, it's not as clear cut as they make it to seem, and that's all I'm saying is that it's just selective enforcement with these really nebulous rules around sex, and I feel like as soon as you cease to make it something sacred and something that you see as a responsibility, right? Then you kind of just make it to where any of these situations, like anytime you're banging a girl that's not your wife and you're potentially in a position of money or power, that you could get Mike Tyson to Tupac whenever.
Oh yeah.
You can get Russell Branded whenever. It's a trap. The best thing you could do is, dude, get married and be loyal to your wife. That's the safest thing you could do.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Keeps you out of trouble.
The rest of the shit's not worth it anyway, man. I mean, who wants to waste time and energy with these people who may not, like, they may not get it, they might not work it. It's just too much wasted time. It's easier said than done, of course. I know the modern dating situation is kind of dire from what I hear. Shit's bad out there because of the lack of sacred energy sharing and shit. I think people wanted, I ain't gonna say who, but a specific group of people wanted sexual liberation, and they got it. And now, now we have what we have. So there's no more, you're not arranging no marriages. You're not, shunning whores from society. You're not making nobody wear a scarlet letter. And now society's in full decay because you don't have control. See, this
You
is
gave them sexual revolution, and they
banged
banged all the athletes and stars.
Ruined everything. No, the athletes and the stars and all the tough guys.
Yeah.
Bad boys, the guys who stab people at football games.
Nobody useful in society.
That's what it is. Like, what about that guy? That guy's got 12 goats.
No. We need sexual revolution. We need it.
That guy's got 10 acres of land. You should marry him.
Liberate yourself.
Have a bunch of kids and do a farm. She was like, nah, I think I'm gonna marry. I'm gonna bang this guy who's got 4 other baby mamas. And I'm gonna bang them raw too, because I'll be baby mama number 5. So I mean, if that's what you're going out of your way to do, what can you say? If you sneak out of school to get driven to the house of an adult man, something's going in your mouth.
And the old guy in the car warns you.
And you go anyway, something's going in your mouth. You notice. You old enough to notice. That's why age of consent is 16 in that place. They're like, by 16, you know if you want something in your mouth or not.
Well, when they have chauffeurs basically trafficking.
Right.
I mean,
you knew what was going to happen. What did you think? I was going to watch cartoons? You thought he was going to make you a little lunch or something? He's going to make you a sandwich and cut it diagonally? No. It's nothing but business happening over here. As soon as you walk through those doors, something's going in your mouth.
But what about the ego boost to the 16-year-old girl? Has anybody looked at it at that angle?
That's true. Yeah, she did. She had a celebrity in her mouth.
Dude, you're 16. This dude is a multi-millionaire. He's basically world famous, right? He has access to all types of broads. He's having you picked up from your high school in a limo and brought over to him.
You're special.
I don't think you peaked.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever gonna do better than that.
The least you can do with all this newfound fame and popularity you're about to have, the least you can do is make your throat available.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's the least you can do.
We're terrible.
Because you know why? If it wasn't me, a celebrity, you know who it was going to be? It was going to be...
It's going to be Todd.
It's going to be Todd
from 4th period.
Under the stairs.
Listen,
it definitely was going to be Doc from Back to the Future.
It's going to be a random dude under the staircase You might get
behind
caught.
the bleachers.
Yeah, behind the bleachers.
You're gonna get crabs.
He's
There's
gonna
be no
tell
chauffeur.
everybody as soon as you're done.
Yes.
He's gonna be like, guess what? You know what that bitch just did? He's gonna tell everybody. That might ruin your reputation. But instead, you get a celebrity in your mouth. You can't. You know what? You're right. You're right.
Right. There's a positive way to walk away from this.
You're right. It is. I can't even lie. It is. Because we can't take that off the table. Because you did a lot. You named him. You gave him the wrong name in your phone. You lied to your parents. You left school. You carried it on for months. You did a lot to be there. He didn't tackle you in the bushes. So.
And it wasn't illegal. Just again, to be clear. So look, don't believe any of these accusations. The media can go after whomever they want to go after. It's all selective enforcement. And pretty much anytime you take your dick out in front of anybody who isn't your wife, you're rolling the dice, especially if you plan on holding riches. If you plan on doing anything of significance at any point in your life, and you're not a baby eater and you're not going to be welcomed into their club, then all you're doing is you're putting ammunition out there that they can eventually use against you. And this is just more of my Tower of Babel, we're run by fallen angels theory, because this is assuming the role of God, is it not? Like, I know everything, I have all the information, and I'm going to accuse you if I want. Judge how I see fit. Some people I don't want to judge. I love them. They're my beloved. But some people I want to bring the hammer down. And it just depends on, how good you are at my religion. And my religion is baby eating. And apparently Russell Brand wasn't dining on the delicacy, so he was of no use.
I can't be mad, bro. It is what it is. That's their business over there. It's not about me getting morally outraged or wanting to cape for this guy. That's just them doing what they do. It's like if you don't watch baseball, you don't really care about the goings on of baseball. Like, oh, the ref made a bad call and this guy's batting 3-point. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? It's just baseball. It's what they're doing. It's all concerns baseball. It's nothing salacious here. Well, Russell Brand he's been assaulting women. Like, it's Hollywood, bro. That's like telling me the batting average of a baseball player. I don't care. Right. I don't watch baseball. Like, if some random guy is at the local Walmart dragging women in the bathroom and shit, you're like, oh, this is something I need to know about. It's near my house. We need to figure out what this guy's doing. But a celebrity is forcing himself down people's throats in Hollywood. That's just Tuesday. Watch it. Yeah, that's not even my business. That's not even my business. I'm done. Yeah, that's the conclusion I've come to. When it comes to those types of crimes in Hollywood, you can't really. It's like trying to get a guy real world arrested because he checked you, he knocked you over while y'all was playing hockey. It's like, well,
yeah, that's how the game is played.
That's how the game is played. He knocked you over. Like, when did he knock you over in the parking lot? No, we were on the ice. The cops be like, well, I mean, that's part of the game, right? Like, yeah, but it hurt. Like, well, I mean, this is what you signed up for. You snuck out of school and went to a grown man's house. You got driven there in a limo, and the limo driver was like a harbinger in a horror movie. Don't go up in them hills. Them cabins is haunted. And you was like, nah, we going up there. Well, guess what? Now we got a slaughter fest for the next hour and a half because all of y'all are going to croak. That's what it is. This is how the movie goes for a reason. He was the harbinger. Don't go in there. You could be my daughter. She was like, nah, I'm good. Okay, well, is what it is. But she was 16, age of consent. It's not against the law there. So if it's not against the law, now you're just making a morality judgment. Like, but that wasn't nice. Like, well, it's not criminal. So he might listen. He might get away with it. He might get screwed, lose a bunch of money. They just suck him dry, to keep him in some litigation and shit, make him pay a bunch of dollars. Anything's possible. But either way, it's not my business. I don't.
Has he been charged with anything?
No, they're just letting this ride for a while. They're just letting this ride. He's getting demonetized. He's getting kicked. So, like, they're definitely hitting his pockets right now. You know what I'm saying? So, because YouTube demonetized him as soon as the allegations came out.
Of course, because they got a letter from the government. The other day, they opened it, read it. It said they were suckers.
Right. So they was just
what
like,
they're
yeah,
doing.
we're done. We ain't even playing with you. So his money stopped. His bank account's looking different right now. I'm sure he got enough bread. But when the main, YouTube, when YouTube stopped paying you, like, that could put a dent in whatever you got going on if you was putting a lot of time and energy into that. So that's a big blow already. Like Fresh and Fit getting demonetized. That's huge. That's huge
Yeah.
because their whole game was on YouTube. So they're like, pull a plug. And then you just got to scramble. You don't know what the fuck you're going to do next. Go to Rumble, try that out. You know, you're going to have to get a little bit more hateful. If Russell Brand goes to Rumble, he's going to have to be like, yeah, I did it. Fuck them bitches. That's how you
Well, first of all, he's already on Rumble.
that's how you get popular on Rumble. You don't play that every consensual encounter that I've had. Nah, you go to Rumble, it's like they liked it. They wanted it. The Rumble crowd will start giving you some super chats immediately. That's how that works. Allegedly. I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, dude, let Russell get whatever he's got coming to him, I'm sure he'll get it. Whether that means freedom and redemption or if that means jail time, taking some of your own medicine. Whatever it is, whatever he deserves, the universe knows enough. I can't really form an opinion about it. But it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's Hollywood, bro. Like it's Chinatown, Jack. Just forget about it. It's one of those things. You really gonna rack your brain about this type of case in Hollywood? You know how many of them going on over there? Somebody getting rolled over on the casting couch right now. Well, maybe not right now because it's a strike. So you might not have to do as much to get a movie. You gotta wait till things.
There's a thing called scabs, my guy.
Oh, and the scabs? Damn.
Yeah, the casting couch is never empty.
So the scabs got to perform on the casting couch. They're like, yo, it's a strike. You ain't got nobody but us. Like, still, we need you to go to the couch.
Hollywood is Moloch. It's just you take your children there to sacrifice them. That's all that it is. In all of those, people used to drop their kids off at Michael Jackson's house.
Right.
Post allegations.
Right.
Post allegations.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Look, maybe he didn't do it. Maybe he didn't do it. I don't know. I wasn't there.
That's what you tell to your 6-year-old. Did you just go see what happens?
Go hang out. Just see what happened. I'm tired of working. That's what it is. So
I know the pajamas we got you are 2 sizes too small, but you could just bear with it for the weekend.
We got you a crotchless onesie.
Pajamas.
We're sending
just
you.
Leave it unsnapped. Leave the crotch unsnapped. Just go ahead and have
see
a
what
good
happens. We'll see what happens.
But if you send, I'm gonna send my daughter. You know what I'm saying? How is Aaliyah not accompanied by a parent? If your daughter's making millions, you don't have anything to do but to be around her. No, go hang out on the tour bus.
No. We gotta go sit back, enjoy the millions. Go do your thing over there with that.
How do you think we're gonna make these hits? It's a very intimate creative process.
You got here without us already. Come on.
It's an intimate creative process. I don't want you guys to disturb this chemistry we got going. So why don't y'all go back to the hotel? Me and her stay here in the studio, and we'll have a couple hit songs when we come out tomorrow. Don't ask no questions. Here's an envelope with some money in it.
Yep, the boy band worked the same way. A lot of the child actors, they would drop them off and be like, listen, we're gonna stay in Wyoming or Wisconsin. And, you'll stay at a house with a bunch of other young boys and, a Hollywood agent will be there and look after you. Yeah. And the hot tub nights would come around. Hey, there's no girls at this party. Oh, why don't you boys get in the hot tub? Like this was a thing. Like people are so desperate for fame and the allure of Hollywood and the music industry, the movie industry, entertainment, the frivolity and nonsense of fucking entertainment.
K-pop.
That they're willing to send their kids. Go stay at this sleazy movie producer's house. Go stay with R. Kelly. Go stay at Michael Jackson's house. I'm gonna put you in a limo. Go see Russell. Like these are calculated moves. There's no way unless you just I don't know. Maybe they have to. If they didn't have retarded children, then they're probably not retarded, right? There's no way that you're that naive that you don't know.
No, you know.
That you don't know. They're dressing your daughter up in pigtails in a mini skirt with her midriff showing and her titties out, and they're saying sing this song dressed as a schoolgirl and be sexy as fuck, and that's how we're gonna make money. Yeah, I'm sure everything's fine. I'm sure I don't need to be there. I'm sure everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, get Shirley Temple to sit on this guy's lap and suck a lollipop.
Can we see that? Can we see Shirley Temple on the bus real quick? What happened with the chat? Oh.
No, so the check came in. We're good.
Yeah, I think that's all they care about. I really do think that those people are just putting their kids out there, and they kind of know that's a risk, and it's a risk that they're willing to take, they're fine with it. They have their piece about it. Get the one where she's dancing. Oh yeah, Baby's Not So Innocent.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's already
problematic.
Already, that's like a link you don't click when you download. You know what I'm saying? When you see Baby Burlesque Not So Innocent, you're like, nope, scroll. I don't think I need that one. Yeah, bro, it's weird. I don't know if any of these are like full length.
Multi-attraction.
Yeah, full length docu. Oh my god.
What the hell is this?
Fair use, research purposes.
Oh, so they already made Little Schindlers.
I'm Pete Townsend.
They already made Little Schindlers.
Why you got this?
This movie was already made.
Who coached that boy to dance like that, man?
With his shirt
Look. He spilled the bottle.
Oh, wow.
My God.
This is uncomfortable.
Oh, wow. What is he doing?
Is that a condom reference?
Sweet milk. Look. This shit crazy.
Hollywood.
Them's the rules. Them's the rules.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, it's all the way bad. It's all the way bad. They got her in the pot cook. Oh boy.
So we already crossed the line sexually, but we had some good old fashioned racism in here too.
Yeah, that should
great.
be, just to even it all out.
Supposed to do that. That's
Cute
the
little
30s.
bones in their
Those is
noses.
the 20s. It makes it bad that color's back now. They put color in some
they
of these
played
videos.
her. They played Shirley Temple big time. They had her doing a lot of wild shit. Look, sitting
Yo,
on these
no,
men's
when she
laps
was
and-
on the bus singing to all the dudes and like flicking her skirt.
This is even worse than the bus. I'm sorry.
It's strange, bro.
If that's not her dad, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it don't look right.
No, even with her dad, it would be like, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah,
No, but that's one thing that I did notice. And then you start to think it's like, well, maybe I just got a perverted mind or something. But a lot of this stuff, like subliminally, they put out those images and they'll just have a shot or an angle, right? And it'll be like, you can look at that as one way or another. You know what I mean? And it's just to give the implication. It's almost like they've been making like secret jerk films for weirdos from the
Nat
very
Geo
beginning.
shit.
Like you look at it and you're like, I don't know. That was a little weird, but I don't know. But somebody else looks at it, it's like, oh my God, greatest film of all time. This is the good stuff. Yeah, she's if you fair use to audio, it is like a little. She's like a little exotic dancer for this bus of grown men.
Buns play on the sunny beach of
Cocaine.
Peppermint Bay. Lemonade stands everywhere.
Bro, what would you do if you got on a Greyhound bus and this was happening?
Right, they're giving they're following
Greyhound
that little
bus.
girl and giving her coke.
And it's just a bunch of dudes all participating.
Oh, then her eyes get big. Did you see that? Can you rewind that just a little bit? They gave her the second hit, and then look, when it comes back, her eyes just shoot up.
She's like, oh yeah, that's that good shit right there, Daddy. Yeah, this is weird, man.
You see what I'm saying? That you don't explicitly do it, but it's like on the low. It's like people will look at it, and I don't know. People back in the day, they were just dumb and naive because they were innocent, right? It was just now all of us are weirdos. But I think back then, it was just a handful of weirdos. So they put something out, and people look at us like, oh, it's just a little girl. It's cute. It's they're not even thinking in that way. But you look at it from a debauchery perspective of being on the internet now for 20 years, and like, oh, I know exactly what this is. We're simulating coke and orgies with children on a bus.
That's a lot, and people loved it. So this has always been what Hollywood was.
Oh,
it
wait
was
a
just
minute. Let's hold on,
secretly
sorry.
coded a little bit.
Little Colonel Bojangles dance. This should be great. I need to go down to Shirley Temple.
I gotta hear this Negro's voice.
Market. Now you just watch. I went to the market for to get some beef. And the beef so tough, and I couldn't get enough.
How can a butler do that?
I paid $5.
I tell you what, he ain't a tether.
And
You're not.
so fat.
This is just how butlers were, man. See, when slavery was the butlers were way more talented. This is the argument for antebellum organizing.
Right. This is not a dangerous Negro. All the Negroes that can dance now are in gangs.
This is the original. Look how peaceful the Crip Walk was.
Right.
In 1846.
Just entertaining a little white girl. Now, it's the prelude to a drive-by shooting.
That's what hip hop is. You're entertaining a little white girl.
That's true. This is the roots of hip hop right here. Entertaining white children.
Yeah, but now we ain't cooning. Now we're killing everyone, including ourselves. This dude was a coon dancing. He didn't even murder anybody. He just danced for that white girl.
I ain't hear him talk about crack at all.
He didn't even destroy the community. Pussy.
Yeah, he's a coon. He's definitely not one of us. If he's not destroying the community and not killing people, he ain't one of us. That's amazing. Man, listen.
Doobie, that's a FBA video for you to post later. You could tag Tariq, FBA. This dude tell me he wasn't FBA. Tell me he was a tether. Look me in the eye and tell me
FBA,
he was a tether, Tariq.
FBA happily shuffles his feet to entertain white child.
And Tariq got a tether name.
Yeah, he do. Not
Tariq ain't indigenous.
Nah, bro. He's just playing the game and he's getting paid.
I know.
Him and
I'm
Umar
not taking
both
it
getting it.
We all love Tariq.
Yeah, we love him. Take that money, bro. Take all that money. Fuck it. Who cares, bro? As long as
The
you
museum was
bread.
built. He said it. He did it. He got it done.
Hey, he's quicker than Umar.
Quicker than the school. Yep.
Well, we've solved nothing. I feel like we didn't get to the heart of anything with Russell Brand. I feel like we just creeped ourselves out more with Shirley Temple videos.
Yeah,
so it's just, I guess it's a show, but we didn't solve anything. So
No, I think the solve
but I'm
is
okay with that.
What happens in Hollywood is not our business. I think that's the ground floor of that whole conversation. We're not talking about what's happening, like I said, in the back of a grocery store or in some company. It's Hollywood and actor. This is the life they live. And maybe every now and then, when you cast netting, you're not always gonna catch just the fish you want to catch. Sometimes there's some shit in there you want to throw back, and that's what they were doing. These women are out here cast netting. Not blaming them, but I mean, at 16 years old. I mean, I kind of expect you to know what's going to happen if you cut school to go to an adult man's house. You got to know.
And if Russell Brand...
black Negro warning you as you're leaving the car.
Right.
Don't you go in there. And if Russell Brand took her virginity, I absolutely know that would have been included in the story.
I doubt it. Yeah, she probably wasn't. And if she was, they would have talked about that.
Absolutely.
That would have been the apple in the pie.
Right.
Listen. For those of us who didn't have any game, we lost our virginity to fast girls like that. They were out there. They existed. They did all the work. We did nothing.
Sacred whore.
So she knew.
It wasn't working. She was out there banging Todd under the bleachers, and she was like, there's got to be more to life than this. And then
Russell Brand's out here at my school. Let me go talk to
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
At least Russell got some moves. Todd is just humping and sweating under the bleachers. That shit boring, bro.
Dude, I'm hearing like the sad music and like just the whistless like look in her eye, and she's like her head's kind of bobbing back and forth as she's looking in between like the little light coming through the bleachers, and she's just thinking like there's got to be more. That's where her story arc started.
Yeah.
Like I was getting banged for the 7th time that day behind the bleachers, and I was just bored, and I was looking out to them. I thought there's got to be I got to meet Russell Brand.
And he showed up out of nowhere. She manifested him. He showed up.
Oh, dude, Russell was on a vision board. That's what it was.
Like she voodooed him into her life, bro. Russell was a victim. This went all the way left, but you know what? It's plausible. Maybe Russell was a victim.
Unless you think women are too small-brained and bird-boned to be Machiavellian on that level. I mean, is that what you're saying?
No.
Only a man could be that clever and have that kind of vision is what you're saying then, right?
They invented it. Women know what's up. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. They invented that Machiavellian shit. Machiavelli just co-opted it and appropriated it. But that's 100% women's behavior. So I think I'm starting to think Russell was a victim.
Machiavellian was a woman, one would say.
Right?
Well, he didn't want to fight anybody, so I guess he's
Yeah,
like, look, we could just scheme. That's how we do it.
Exactly.
Whole way.
Exactly. We just gonna scheme. We gonna start rumors and innuendo, and then we gonna sneak up behind them and be the cold knife in the dark. That's super feminine. That's super feminine, bro. Super feminine. But yeah, I ain't mad. Russell got to do what he got to do. It's Hollywood. He's, it's not. My opinion doesn't matter. It's Hollywood. That's where I'm gonna leave it at. But maybe there was nothing to be solved except for that realization.
Stay married and happy.
Stay married. Stop banging strange women. And if you can't find a woman that's good enough to marry, just have some sexual discipline and stop putting yourself. It's going to get more and more prevalent. It's not just going to be happening to celebrities. It's just going to be a move for everybody. If you bang her and you don't call her back 2 days later, she's going to be like, you know what? I'm not sure how I felt about that session the other day. I might not have completely been down for it. I don't like how you treated me afterwards. So, you know what? Let me rethink how that actually went.
That's what you call trickling down.
Yeah, and society's going to accept it because they love a reason to punish somebody. That's just the state that people are in. If they feel like they got a reason to cancel you and destroy your life, let's do it. I don't care what he did. I don't care what he did. Let's do it. I just want to feel like I have the power to influence somebody else's life. So I'll sign a petition. I'll call him a despicable Nazi in the Facebook comments. I'll say whatever I got to say. As long as I see my ripples go out and help destroy somebody's life, then I can truly live. That's the state that humans are in right now.
Yeah, that's the transition. That's the transition we gave to America. It's like, listen, you can take our kids, take our firstborn, take our men, go to war. We got to be able to yell and curse at famous people.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that's the trade-off. And I think too, don't take the bait for wrongdoing. Even if you got a whole slew of people around you that are co-signing it and enabling it. Because in the end, the very thing that Hollywood celebrated in this man and used in this man to make money and have him to kind of brand himself with is the same thing that they're using now to try to destroy him. So don't ever think the beast is on your side. Like, oh yeah, do that dirt. Don't worry about it. We own the media. We'll cover it up. Trust me. I'm in one of the red Excel spreadsheets. I got you. Nah, man. At the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's all we're ruled by baby eating, California Twinkie devouring,
Diddlers.
sexual blackmail intelligence agencies.
Reptilian
So it is.
diddlers. That's it.
Rep diddlers.
Yeah. So deal with it. Deal with it. Either keep quiet or deal with it. You can keep quiet, you can mind your business, and you can go the other way. You can start a garden, you can build a cult. As long as you shut up about it, I think you'll be fine. But once you get on the internet and being like, hey, those reptilians don't want us to have a food forest, and you just broadcasted your plans against the enemy over his airwaves, and that's an open act of war. You can't do that. If you just mind your business and have fun, don't make comparisons about why your world is better than the world outside. Just live it and be the example, and you may be able to get away with it and while protecting your own peace. But if you want to get online and talk shit, be like, you motherfuckers should be doing what I'm doing because the rest of the world is stupid and you're all sheep. You're asking for it. You're going to get 147 years for walking through a barricade.
Yeah.
You go play yourself. Shut up about it, bro. Just do what you're doing, live your life.
I think it was MSNBC, but I was watching it with my mom the other day, bro. That's what I just saw. All that screaming and yelling, and it's just 100 years. 100
years. How you like that? How you like that? And it's nothing you can do. They might even let you out in 15 or 20 just to torture your brain. But what I'm gonna tell you, you're getting 100. You know what I mean?
Which is going to age you an extra 15 or 20 years.
Right. So I get 60 years out of you in 20.
Bro,
yeah.
I squeeze 60 life years.
And the sad part is, like, the media put all these people's videos, pictures, everything.
Oh,
they can't get no job. They can't go nowhere.
CNN docs the dude that made a meme about them. They made it a news story. Like, this man made a very distasteful meme about CNN. And like they went after that dude. They put him on blast. They made him famous because they didn't like a funny meme that he made about them. And I mean, anyone who takes CNN seriously you're beyond you're beyond reaching. We're letting you go. We love you, but we just accept that we can't be on the same plane of existence.
They love
Wolf
Blitzer. They love
dude, nobody takes CNN seriously. So they're being rightfully mocked. Any sane person would know to mock CNN. And even if you wouldn't openly mock them, you still like to be polite, like you show them respect, but you know they're full of shit. But you wanna be a good soldier for institutional media. But see, and dude, they tried to ruin that dude's life. So the media absolutely knows what they're doing. They hide the stories for the people that they want to protect. They don't care if they're pedos. They don't care if they're Matt Lauer and they got a grape ape button to lock the door. They'll cover for you as long as they can. They will look out for you. And if you get exiled to France, they'll write a whole fucking sequel around your character in another country just to siphon some bread your way. These are the people that we're dealing with.
Hey, that's their business. I'm about
don't let it spill over to the fence.
That's their business. Yeah, just don't bring that shit over here, bro. We're doing our own thing. We don't have to partake in it, and I can't afford to invest any outrage in it. I can't afford to come to any more like Russell's are despicable. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. My opinion doesn't help, and he did it in a place where it's almost the norm, and you have to second guess everybody involved when it's in Hollywood. You have to. You can never take it off the table that somebody's like, I thought I was going to get put in the Charlie's Angels movie, so I blew Russell Brand, and then I didn't get in the movie. It's like, well, that's part of the game.
That's the risk you take.
That's the risk you take. Somebody could have given a better one. Or who knows? Who knows? But either way, this is Hollywood. This is how it works. It's their rules. You knew about it when you came here. So you snuck out of school. You had a harbinger, and you didn't listen to him. So now something's in your mouth. My bad. It was 20 years ago. I'm not locking him up. I wouldn't be anyway. But it is what it is. Let him get what he got coming. I ain't mad. Russell Brand, hold your head, but homeboy. Hopefully everything goes in the way that justice should go. Either way, up or down.
Worst case scenario, move to France.
Right. Then you would fucking Roman Polanski could do a movie together. Do a buddy cop movie.
I would watch that movie actually.
Yeah, the odd couple, Russell Brand and Roman Polanski in France. Yeah, I'd watch it. I'd watch it. Fuck it. I'd be mad at myself for the first 15 minutes, but I'd watch it. Yeah, man, but I'm gonna
directed by Woody Allen.
Oh shit!
Let's make that happen. The Diddlers.
Trifecta. Yeah. Woody Allen, Roman Polanski, Russell Brand. I'd watch
buddy cop movie.
Three's Company, some shit like that.
Let's go.
Well, I don't know. Somebody in the chat will come up with something better. My brain's fried.
Hey, it's all good.
But that's a movie worth watching.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm down with that. It's a better movie than The Toxic Avenger as a midget. So if midget is
shots
not the right
fired
term, say what you want, but I'm gonna go on record right now. I mean, I love Lloyd Kaufman. I love trauma films. I'm just gonna go on record right now that Peter Dinklage is gonna ruin Toxic Avenger. So hold me to it. If it happens to be good, then I'll take responsibility. But for right now, I think it's gonna be horrible, and mostly because he's a midget. I mean, he was cool in Game of Thrones, but Toxic Avenger, come on, not cool. But other than that, I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. You brothers, I'm sure we'll have an excellent evening, and we'll be talking soon. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you link this video, share it, Twitter, wherever you think people might be willing to listen. We're definitely looking for some more subs, so I'll at you folks. And hopefully we'll be back on here soon, bringing you another deep dive into the absurd simulation. We have been the greatest think tank ever assembled. Ever. No debate. The Cultural Dangerous Gentlemen. I appreciate you brothers for making time, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Solo.
Bless.
The quote-unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.